Dominic Thiem has finally won his maiden Grand Slam title, defeating Alexander Zverev in a classic match, 2-6, 4-6, 6-4, 6-3, 7-6. With the win, Dominic is the first player in the open air to win the US Open after being down 2-0 in the finals. Zverev began the match the much stronger out of the two, outplaying a very flat Dominic Thiem. This was surprising because Thiem was the clear favorite heading into this one, being the better player in matches leading up to the final, plus being on court 4 hours less than Zverev. It was evident that Thiem was very off early on, as he missed so many first serves. In the first set alone, he served a dismal 37% of first serves in. He did win 90% of first serve points, but he didn't make many of them, and on the second serve, he only won 29% of the points. Zverev had a drastically different service game in the first set, hitting 68% of first serves in, winning 92% of points when he did, and 67% on second serve. On the ground stroke side of things, Zverev was in total control, absolutely ripping his forehand unlike in previous rounds. This swing was actually more impressive than his backhand, and he surprised me by running around it many times to hit the forehand inside in. This strategy was extremely successful, as Dominic was definitely expecting the backhand cross. Another good strategy from Zverev was to pull Dominic off the court with a forehand angle, then hit the next shot up the line. Unlike Dominic, he had great action on his shots while being really consistent. His movement too was great, retrieving an incredible amount of shots, and Thiem surprisingly ended up missing quite a few of those one extra balls. While Sasha played well here, Dominic's form was remarkably poor, hitting 8 unforced errors to just 4 winners. It's crazy because he was just going for too much early on in the rallies, but lacked the true pace and jump on his shots to make Alex uncomfortable. His attitude though was the most evident thing, as he looked really out of sorts and had no true fight. This was definitely because for the first time ever, he was the favorite in a major final, and was extremely tight. Zverev on the other hand took advantage of this, getting out to a fast start, going up 6-2, 5-1. In the 5-1 game, he had 3 set points, but couldn't convert. At 5-2, he had another set point, but flubbed an easy volley and ended up losing that game. The double break cushion though eventually helped him get over the hump, and he won the set 6-4. This though was a major sign that Sasha would have trouble closing things out when it came time to. This became extremely clear early in the third, as he was up a break at 2-1, but couldn't capitalize when time. This was the turnaround game, because he ultimately lost it and the set, thanks to both a drop in his play and an increase in the level of Thiem. In the next 2 sets, Alex, while keeping a decent first serve in percentage, wasn't as effective when he made it. Before, he had relatively easy service games, while Thiem struggled to even hold. The roles began to reverse, as Thiem's first serve in percentage increased, and he backed up this stronger serving with stronger groundies. Sasha, on the other hand, didn't have the same penetration on his shots, and hit a lot more backhands rather than inside ins. Dominic's confidence graded, looking a lot more like himself, while Sasha's wavered, and he stopped playing with that great conviction. He still had a chance, however, to possibly win in 4, but couldn't capitalize on his 2 game point opportunities while down 3-4. The 5th set, however, saw both players near their best, and we were in for a truly spectacular major final. It became a matter of who would crack first, and it seemed to be Thiem, as he was broken at 4-3 to allow for Zverev to serve for the match. You didn't get the feeling that this was it, and we were right, as Sasha played a very messy game to be broken at 15. He recovered well though to come within 2 points of victory on team serve, but the Austrian came up with some absolutely clutch play to win both that game and the following to serve for the match. The monkey then got on his back while Sasha rose, and we were then set into a match-deciding tiebreaker. Much like this entire match, the tiebreaker was a roller coaster, as Domi, clearly struggling with cramps since 6-5, lost the first 2 points. He roared back though to win the next 6 of 8 points to hold 2 championship points at 6-4. He couldn't close it out on his serve, but on Zverev's, he couldn't take advantage of a 68-mile-per-hour second serve, bringing us at 6 apiece. Dominic put this behind him though, and pushed through to win the next 2 points and title. I just have to completely give it up to Dominic, because prior to even this tournament, he was not in the best form. He lost to Filip Krajinovic 2-1 pretty easily, and a lot of people counted him out. And for him to come back the way he did and really work on his game and improve and not lose faith and hope is just really incredible. And we saw this fight and resilience in the finals here, not giving up despite being down 2-0, despite Zverev playing amazing, playing the match of his life, really. He fought, his attitude at the beginning of the match obviously wasn't the best, but he still kept a level head and he kept fighting and chipping away. And it's just really great. And it really shows the greatness and fight of Dominic Thiem. He's had to fight for a very long time, reaching 3 other major finals, losing all to great players, losing to Rafa twice on Roland Garros, his favorite tournament, and then losing to Novak Djokovic in the finals this year, obviously in 5 sets, his favorite tournament. And so this time it was totally different, as he was the favorite. Everyone knew who was the favorite because he was playing a lot better than Sasha Zverev. He was more efficient in all of his matches, and he was just more experienced. And while he did have that experience, he wasn't used to being the favorite. And I really think that helped Sasha. And I was kind of surprised that Sasha played that well. And I do have to credit him on his improvements and how he has improved so much. He was counted out as well. People were saying, oh, he's bad, he's not going to give Thiem much of a match. I know a lot of people were saying that Dominic will win in 3 sets. And for him to come out and play the way he did, completely change up his way of playing really aggressive, going after that forehand, moving incredibly, which shows how hard he's been working during the shutdown. It was just really, really, really amazing. And even throughout this match, he was actually the more physically fit than Dominic. As you know, this team, he was struggling physically despite him already being one of the fittest players on tour. So that's a testament to Sasha Zverev's work ethic. And however, the king of really elevation and really perseverance is Thiem, because first, obviously, he came back from Cincinnati, then coming back from the 2-set down deficit here, then recovering after being down 5-3, being 3 points away from losing the match, and then 2 points away from losing the match on his serve at 5-4, and still being able to persevere. Cramping after failing to close the match out on his terms was really incredible. And also, the most incredible thing was the final itself. I was about to really bash the final because of how one-sided it was. I wasn't going to bash Thiem because I don't really like to bash players, but I was just very disappointed because first, I wasn't expecting Zverev to play the way he did and really dominate Dominic like he did. And it was really beginning to look like it would be a straight 3-set match, and that was going to be really disappointing. But it really ultimately became a classic match. And what really made it special was the implications behind the match rather than the actual match itself. The match picked up in the 5th set because both players finally were playing their best tennis at the same time. However, the nerves and the pressure of both of them trying to win their first Grand Slam, Dominic, he was by far the best player to not win a major title. And then Zverev, probably second, and people were wondering, when is he going to break through? When is he finally going to win the slam? And this was really his major breakthrough, coming back from deficits against Coric, against Carreño Busta, to even be in the final is really amazing. And the tiebreaker to me was just the epitome of what it meant to these players. Djokovic obviously wasn't there. Nadal and Rafa weren't there. Yeah. But this was the biggest moment of their career. The tiebreaker, it was such a seesaw match. The whole 5th set was a seesaw roller coaster, but the tiebreaker especially, and then that 68 mile per hour second serve from Zverev and him still winning the point was crazy. But closing this out, I know that there are going to be people saying that this is going to be like an asterisk US Open, and I totally disagree with that and will not tolerate, you can have your opinion, I don't really care, but I strongly disagree with them saying that it's an asterisk Open. first, if Novak didn't even play the tournament, you can say that. However, he was in the tournament, and despite him being defaulted, it still happened. You can't take an asterisk, and you can't discredit other people's hard work. This was an incredible final. You can't discredit that hard work because of someone else. And while he was a big favorite in this tournament, who's saying that he would have actually won it? So that's one thing. And I think the final itself, though, quieted a lot of these critics because it was just truly incredible and at the utmost quality. And I have to give it up to, once again, both to Alexander Zverev, Dominic Thiem, and lastly, I almost forgot, but most importantly, I have to give it up to the USTA and the USTA and the US Open for holding a wonderful event. They held perhaps the most impressive slam against all odds. Thousands of articles were made saying, oh, will the US Open be canceled? Is the US Open safe to be played? And the way they made the players feel safe, how they conducted the tournament, it was good for even the fans, how they just incorporated everything. It was truly, truly, truly an amazing tournament. And I think that's a perfect way to sign off. It was a truly amazing US Open. A lot of course, drama. It was definitely the most unusual US Open. I do hope that we can be back to normal next year, but I think a good takeaway would be from this is amazing play from all around Sasha Zverev and Dominic Thiem. Congratulations to Thiem for finally breaking through, and congratulations on the US Open as a whole for a successful tournament. Thank you, and you all have a good day.